Now to what is tipping the scales. The eye drops murder trial resumes in our next hour. Defendant Jessy Kurczewski stands accused of poisoning her friend and stealing nearly $300,000 from her account. But the defense team claims that Lynn Hernan's death wasn't murder. Rather, they say it was suicide. The case kicked off Tuesday with opening statements.
This is a case of murder, greed, and lies. Lynn Hernan became worth more dead than alive to Jessy Kurczewski. She finally gave that water bottle, knowing it had, in the defendant's estimation, 6 bottles of Visine to Lynn Hernan, knowing it could kill her.
I want you to look at her. She's presumed innocent. And don't ever let that thought leave your mind, because she wants to kill herself. She wants to die. Suicide doesn't make sense. Never in her wildest dream would she ever think Jessy would get arrested for a suicide that Lynn committed. Jessy's innocent.
All right, so did either side tip the scales of justice in their favor on day number 1? I want to bring in our guest still with me, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Borchardt and criminal defense attorney Greg Isaacs. These opening statements, I'm really anxious to get your thoughts on what you thought, honestly, objectively, if either side tipped the scales, yes or no, Franz. I can tell by the look of your face, we might be thinking the same thing here. Let me start with you, please.
So there's a scene in a famous movie where Marilyn Monroe's skirt is blown up by air underneath a grate, right? Neither of these opening statements blew my skirt up, Julie. Neither of them. The prosecution's opening statement, I felt like he didn't really buy what he was saying. Like, it was almost like he wasn't really invested. And look, I'm sorry, if you're gonna tell them to look at your client, have her make a better face than what she just made, please. So no, the answer for me is no, I don't think they tipped the scales, and I think both sides missed an opportunity, Julie.
Yes, I'm with you. I found them to be very underwhelming. To say the least. So the scales for me just stayed put. Didn't budge at all. Greg Isaacs, good to see you, my friend. Your take on these opening statements, please.
Wow, the scales of justice did not move, Julie. I thought they were incredibly flat, almost like neither side believed in what they were saying. When you talk about primacy and recency, whether the opening statement's most important, the closing statement, these lawyers just seem like they were going through the motions. But, we all know courtroom is theater. And, it's always important to make sure your client looks like the role that you're trying to present to the jury. And this is, in this case, a compassionate caregiver that's falsely accused of embezzling, stealing money, and first-degree murder. She looked like a cat on a hot tin roof. The affect was driving me crazy. I was like, what, please stay still, look at the jury. Yeah, I mean, she was twerking, she was tweaking. I sense no connection with the lawyers, and I don't know what that behavior was at counsel table for the defendant.
No, it was terrible. It was terrible. The faces, you both are spot on. Thank you for your honesty. That's what we do on this show. We tell it like it is. If anybody happened to miss those opening statements, we got a couple more little short clips. We won't put you through too much, but take a look at one more clip from the state and one more from the defense.
We have roughly $50,000 in cash withdrawals. We have this sort of bogus loan fund that she takes for herself out of the estate, never paying anything back. And we have a number of checks again, written to either the defendant's own credit cards, to her mother's apartment rent, or just to cash for herself, to the tune of almost $87,000 out of the estate.
They're saying that Jessy set this up. Remember when officers arrived on the scene? Do you think this was a suicide? Do you think Jessy would be jumping up and down? Yes. It's a suicide. You know what she said? She goes, I don't know. Jessy was being honest. I don't know. And you think if she would have set it up, and according to them, the Visine is in that water bottle, why would she leave it there at the scene with her fingerprints all over it?
To both of your points, how could they expect the jury to buy what they're selling when the arguments are so lackluster? And really the stories, I should say, because opening statements aren't arguments, but you both know, the seasoned trial attorneys are going to get some argument in there, in a way that doesn't draw an objection. My goodness. Okay, so they have a day to regroup. They can wipe the slate clean. Today is a brand new day. Looking back, and I'm sure you both do this in trial, we always, I think we're hardest on ourselves at trial, and we can look back and say, okay, I could have done this differently or that differently. How would you regroup today? Franz Borghardt, walk us through what you'd do if you were both of those sides, respectively, please.
So if I'm the defense, I've got to develop a theory of innocence that pertains to the money, Julie. That is, to me, the biggest issue the defense has, right? So a little bit more loving, a little bit more caring, have a conversation with my client about, hey, look, I don't know what innocence looks like, but you need to look a little bit more like it. Prosecution, again, I want the prosecution to care about this victim, because right now my sense is he's going through the motions, right? And maybe this is a slam dunk case for him, and he thinks that that's okay. But if I'm regrouping as a prosecutor, I got to show a little bit more heart. I got to show a little bit more compassion, and I got to humanize this victim to make her look like not somebody that committed suicide, but somebody that was murdered.
Yes, bring her to life. Yes, Franz. Greg Isaac, same question to you, please. What should both of these sides be doing right now as they're getting ready to go back into court?
Well, I would have my staff look at the commentary on court TV, which sometimes during a trial is very
move, counselor.
Yeah, I kind of slowed down a cross-examination in one trial, thanks to John Q. Public. But go back to the beginning, the basics, and look at your themes. Look at what you're trying to portray. A caregiver, compassion, somebody that is empathetic to this elderly person, and paint that picture for the jury in your crosses. Go back to the basics. But, I don't know that there is a cogent theme to explain, and it should be pretty simple. You have somebody elderly, or maybe not as elderly, but you got somebody that needed a caregiver that was suicidal. You've got somebody that was there for him. Paint that picture.
Well said, gentlemen. Well said. Franz Borghardt, we've got to say goodbye, and a big thank you to you for lending us all of your insight this morning on opening statements. Greg Isaacs, you're going to stay with us as we're going to head on into Court TV Live. So up next, folks, we're going to go live to Florida for today's testimony in the Take Care of Maya civil trial. Also, we're getting ready for day number 2 of testimony in the eye drops murder trial that we were just talking about in Wisconsin. Stay with us.